society, we are afraid of Muslims. It's like when I saw a post somewhere that was like, would you be afraid if someone wearing like some sort of Muslim wear that identified that they're a Muslim on a plane, would you be afraid of them? Or should you be afraid of them? And there's no actually reason why you should be afraid of them, but it also correlates to the Las Vegas shooter for us asking, is he part of Islam or something like that? There's no real connection.
I feel like it's a lot easier to identify sort of an us versus them narrative and say that there's, you know, good Americans on one side and bad people from the Middle East on the other side, and it's a lot scarier to realize that, you know, normal, good people can commit these kind of horrible acts. So that's maybe why a lot, I mean, obviously it's definitely tied to Islamophobia, but I feel like the reason is, the real issue is a lot harder to tackle, and maybe people don't want to admit that.
That's a good point. So what is the real issue?
Control.
Because I think these are the things we really want to get at, right? So if we just talk about that this is what's going on, we want to get at the underpinnings of this. So the real issue in that, in your assessment, and then the rest of you, as you probably can kind of elaborate.
I feel like there's kind of several issues all tied together. There's definitely how we treat mental illness in the country and how that can affect people, and I'm not qualified to comment on that. And then there's the issue of gun control and weaponry, and we should have access and everything. I feel like maybe those are kind of the two main ones.
I just wanted to say that for some reason there's always sort of this sigh of relief when the perpetrator of a mass shooting or terrorism is not Muslim or is not a member of ISIS. And that like this happens even though there was still mass violence, and that for some reason the fact that a white man could perpetrate violence is less threatening than a member of ISIS.
Yeah, I feel like an issue just within American society is that we like to stereotype a lot, like one person from one race or ethnicity does something bad and we group, oh, this whole group is like terrible and we should be afraid of them, and that's an issue. You can't base like a whole race off of something that one person did and be afraid of them. Like, that's not okay. And that's something that causes like dissension within society, and it strengthens racism and just, yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Peter said, Pepper was saying about like it's such an easier narrative to like have a good versus bad. And that narrative allows us to overlook the bigger issue here, which this was a perfect moment to talk about gun control, this incident. And how many more mass shootings do we have to have on our own country, from like Sandy Hook and all these other things, Columbine, before we have to address the fact that people are getting access to guns way too easily, access to way too many guns way too easily. And this allows for these things to happen. And every time we have one of these events, they say, oh no, we can't talk about gun control because it's too soon. But we wait, we forget, it becomes less of an urgency. And we like to blame it on other organizations. Say, oh, see, it's their fault. It's not our fault. The laws are fine, but it's not. People they're not responsible for the fact that our laws are allowing this to happen way too much, and they can happen at any moment or a time. And it's only important to them when it affects them personally.
And people are always saying how terrorists kill people. Actually, guns do most of the killing, all the killing in this case. And the Second Amendment, the Second Amendment to the right to bear arms, was written in 17 something.
Too long ago.
And then you have to take a while to reload, and now we have assault rifles also fall under the box of under the label of right to bear arms, and not everyone's taking into consideration is that the right to bear arms also means that you can point an assault-grade military rifle and shoot.
In modern-day American society, there's absolutely no reason why you have an assault rifle inside of your home. That is highly necessary. It's just inappropriate, and there's absolutely no space for it in the way that we organize people.
And then going back to the topic of gun control, I definitely think that we should perceive mass shootings as a gun problem. And I know the NRA has a slogan that along the lines of guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yes, like I'm killing you, but the gun is enabling me to kill you. So if we regulate the amount of guns people can have, then we could lower the amount of mass shootings that go on in America.
I think that a lot of people jump to the conclusion that the shooter must be Muslim, and I think that when people call Muslim, or they say Muslims are terrorists, or like if a Muslim shoots somebody or a whole bunch of people, it's like it's terrorism. But like terrorism is like to scare somebody. So what this guy did, like Muslim or white or black, he's still a terrorist. Like it's terrorism.
Going back to the topic of gun control, a 14-year-old boy did a study in which he went to buy a lottery ticket and they said that he couldn't because he was underage. He went to get alcohol, they said that he couldn't because he was underage. And then he went to a gun show and he was able to buy a gun at 14 years old. Why a 14-year-old needs a gun is a question no one can really answer. But the fact that a 14-year-old child cannot purchase liquor, cannot purchase a lottery ticket, but can go to a show and buy a gun should be alarming and should make the government understand that there is a problem with guns and that gun control should be necessary, because there should be background checks on people who are owning guns. There should be a limit on the amount of guns that are purchased, who can purchase guns, why the guns are needed, because there is just an influx of gun ownage, and it's increasing the amount of crimes and the amount of violence, and yet the government cannot accept the fact that it is due to the fact that there are so many guns.
So you all have pointed out five main things: Islamophobia, mental illness, gun control, race, and terrorism. And I think those are important things to look at with this particular point here, right? And that is that even in that context, if he had been an African American or a Muslim, would he be classified as a terrorist?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to have to step on that. They all chimed in. So those are some things to think about in terms of how these things play themselves out, and you have to begin to see what the underlying debates are and discussions are, and why they come to what they come to. And you all kind of chimed in simultaneously, so I don't.
So we've talked for about 45 minutes to the panelists and heard some absolutely phenomenal assessments and feedback. Please give it a round. As an adult, and certainly as the human relations chairwoman, you have no idea what direction these conversations are going to go. So I am absolutely just over the top just to hear our youth talk about these things. The conversation that they have had should have been enlightening to each of us. It should give us some food for thought. Hopefully you all will take these same conversations and continue them. We hope to be able to provide an opportunity, especially with the Teen Advisory Group and the Unity Club and some of the other clubs that are at the high school, and certainly
Don't you know?